Welcome to How to Play the Trombone. This is part 7. We're going to talk about some fingering charts and how that works and how to play some notes. And so join me on page 46 and 47 in your book, and we'll get right to it. Okay, this is page 46, and this is where sometimes it gets a little confusing for beginning trombone players, is the slide and where to put it to play different notes. And there's various fingering charts. Sometimes they're a little confusing. So on this one, you'll see that first position is pointing to this little, the slide brace, and that's when your slide's all the way in, okay? And where it says second, that's where this brace is going to be right there on that second position. And then third is where that brace is going to be there, and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh. And when I get to the trombone, I'll show you some keys about how to know where that slide goes when we get there. Okay, here on page 47, you'll see you have some notes here, lots of different notes. This is the fingering chart, or slide position chart for trombones. Sorry about that. So you'll see the name of the note above. In this case, it's a D. You'll see where the note's at on the staff. In this case, it's the third line. So the D is always on the third line. And then you'll see the slide position. And this is 4. So this is your fourth position. Again, I'll show you that in a second. So we'll learn this one. We'll learn this E flat. Now this looks a little confusing. There's two notes. This is what's called an enharmonic spelling, meaning that both of these notes are the same pitch and the same fingering. So we're going to learn the E flat. And the flat is just this little sign right here. That's a flat sign. It means to lower the pitch a half step. So this E flat, there's the E flat, the name of it. It's on the third space, and it's a third position with your slide. And then we're also going to learn this F over here. And there's your F. It's on the fourth line, and it says 1 or 6. Now, whenever it has two different slide options, we always use the first one when we're first learning that note. And the other one is what's called an alternate position. And we use that sometimes for various reasons, depending on what the other notes around it and things. But for now, we're just going to learn F as first position. So that slide position chart is there on page 46 and 47 for your reference. But if you go to page 6, you'll see at the top of the page, those three notes that I just talked about are right there on your page 6 as well. And so for all of page 6 and all of page 7, you only need to know those three notes. Okay, just those three notes. And so you don't write anything in. If you forget how one of them is played, just look right up to that little box and it'll remind you. So really work to not writing in note names or slide positions. Right now there's only 3, and you might think, oh, that's easy to just write those in really quick. You need to be looking at the note. And if you're not looking at the note, then you're not going to know lots of things how to play that note. And also, let's say we know 15 notes later on, and then I give you a piece of music and we start playing. Well, you're not going to be able to play it if you don't know how to look at the note and play it. If you have to write them all in, it's going to take you a while. So don't write in the names of the notes. So we're on page 6. Let's talk about those slide positions on this trombone here, okay? So first position, just all the way in. So that's the easy one, first position. And I'm actually going to go to third position next. So you have first position. Third position is when you get this brace right here lined up with the bell. Now we don't want to stick our finger out to line it up. You just kind of want to line it up, and maybe once or twice when you're first doing it to feel where that bell is and where that finger slide is. But try to avoid getting that finger out there. So that's where third position is. So first and third, and then second is in between those two. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then fourth is where the end of the slide is kind of lined up with the bell. Again, you're just going to have to feel it and eyeball it where that goes. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then from 4, I'm actually going to go to 7th. And 7th, I don't know if you're going to see. Actually, I'll come up to the camera. 7th is right where, see how this slide changes in thickness right here? So 7th is like right before the slide goes past that point. So like right there is about 7th position. Okay, there's the change right there. So the slide comes past it, so that's about there, 7th position. Okay, so you can kind of look at that on your trombone. You got fourth, you got seventh. You can kind of see it and hold it. And if you're a smaller person, especially if you're in sixth grade, you might not be able to reach all the way out there. You just got to turn your shoulder a little bit, and you'll get it. And then fifth and sixth are in between there. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so that's kind of where the slide positions go. So a couple things, as we're playing in band, you can listen to other kids playing and then listen to yourself. And if we're all playing like this note, and your pitch sounds like, right, then you know that your slide's too far out. You can bring it in. The farther you go out, the lower pitch it's typically going to go. Okay, the farther you bring it in, the higher pitch it's going to go. Okay, so that's kind of some things, and I'll show you as we go throughout these next few notes. So go to page 6 in your book, and as we play these, make sure you're facing your book and you're looking at the notes as we play them. Okay, so we're going to look at exercise number 1 first. Before we play it, we got to know how to play those. So you got the D first of all. So you look at the top corner and you see that the D is 4th position. So it's going to be right here. So your fingers are past the bell. The end of the slide is about lined up with the bell. Okay, that's going to be 4th position. And as you're holding that, make sure that slide goes to the left of your stand. Okay, so you got the D. Sounds like this. Now the first note you might play is this one. That's too low. Okay, so in order to get to the D, you tighten your lips a little bit until it flips up to the next note like this. Okay, so that's why that buzzing is going to be really important. When you're buzzing up and buzzing down. That's all you got to do. When you get the low note, just buzz up. And you got the D. Okay, and the next thing is that you hold, it has a whole note. That has a blue highlighted thing that says it's a whole note. And a whole note gets 4 counts in 4/4 time. So if this is the tempo, it's going to go ta. Now I had to think in my head 1, 2, 3, 4, so I knew how long to hold that. So I knew that I did 4 of them, right? 4 beats. And so as you're playing, you got to think that in your head. And then you also see that there's whole rest. So if a note is holding a pitch for 4 counts, a rest would be playing silence for 4 counts. Okay, so a note's playing sound, a rest is playing silence. Okay, so let's look at number 1. Now you got to follow the notes. They're all the same note on number 1, but you got to know how many to play, so you got to follow along in the book as we play. Let's try it. Number 1, ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, this is the rest. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and that's the end, because there's a double bar there at the end of the exercise. So we played 4 notes with 4 rests in between each of the notes, right? Or rest in between each of the notes. You notice a couple things. You'll notice as I played, I kept my slide in 4th position the whole time. Okay, you don't need to like have it in 1st and go to 4th at the beginning of each note. Just keep it in that position the whole time as you play it. Okay, and only change it when you need to change notes. Okay, and then the other thing is you want to keep it on your mouth and the embouchure formed in the right spot throughout. I did have to take mine off a little bit so I could count, so you knew where I was counting and what I was working on. So just you're going to want to keep that in the same spot the whole time. So let's look at exercise number 2. It's got a different note. This is the E flat. So the E flat is going to be 3rd position. So we did 4th position. Now we're going to come in a little bit to 3rd position. Okay, so 4th, 3rd. And it's going to sound like this. Okay, it's just a little bit higher than the D. The D was. higher, and that's the E flat. So let's try number 2. You're gonna have to watch those notes and rests so you know how many to play and when to stop. Here we go. Number 2. 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the end. Okay? So there's only 3 notes and 3 rests in that exercise. Number 3 uses both of the notes, so you got to switch in between. So you're going to get your slide in the right spot to start, get your armature set, play the first note, and then in between and the rest, you're going to switch your slide to the next slide position, and then make sure in the rest you have your slide in the right spot. So let's try number 3. Ready? Starts with the D as your first note. 1, 2, number 3, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, back to the D, go. 1, 2, and that's the end. Okay? So now we just play 2 different notes on one tune. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 is adding that third note we talked about, the F, and we're going to go to first position, so we're going to skip second. We have 4th, 3rd, and now we're going to 1st for that F. And it sounds like this. So, and make sure as you're playing each of these notes that you're still doing that sound. And then obviously you have to buzz your lips to make that sound. Okay, so, right, in order to play. Okay, each time you're making that sound at the beginning of the note. Okay, let's go to that number 4. Number 4 says watch those rests. So that means something's coming. You got to make sure you're following along correctly to play the right notes. Here we go. 1, 2, number 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end. So if you're not hitting the right pitch, maybe you're playing this one the whole time. That's not the right pitch. You got to be playing the exact same pitch that I'm playing. So if you're playing the lower one, just tighten your lips. Or if you're playing too high, just loosen your lips and get down to that right pitch. Okay, so use your ears. You got to use your ears. Trombone players got to use their ears, okay, to play the right notes. Number 5 uses all 3 notes. So we're going to start with the first note. We learned the D. We have a whole rest. Then we're going to have the E flat, another whole rest, then an F, and then we're going to go back down. Okay, let's try number 5. Starting with the D, 4th position. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, switch your slide and go. 1, 2, switch the slide again, go. 1, 2, going back down, and last note, get your slide ready, go. Okay, so we got 3 different notes we've learned. Hopefully you're playing those and making those sounds. If you're struggling making any of these right sounds, don't stress about it. Just keep practicing. Ask me questions and I'll help you out. Okay. Number 6, we are adding a new concept, and that is we're playing 2 notes, one right after the other. No rest in between. We haven't done that yet. Now the thing is that we've already practiced this with a and with the mouthpiece buzzing. We did that, so it's just the same thing as right. The only difference is that we're holding it a little bit longer. So. Okay, we're not going to stop the airflow, where the airflow is going to keep going. just going to interrupt it with the tongue on the next new note. Okay, so let's try number 6. Here we go. Starts off on that F. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2 to the E flat, go. 1, 2 to the D, and okay. So in order to do that, if let's say you were doing that, you ran out of air. Well, that's easy solution. Just next time you do it, take more air. Try it again, and remember to take more air before you play each time you play. Okay, just lots of air, and then you should have plenty of air. Okay, so remember that. Remember to make that sound at the beginning of each note, and don't stop the airflow. Just repeat it. Other than on rest, you can breathe all you want during rests. Okay. So if you have any questions about those things, let me know. I hope you're getting it down. We'll keep working on this in class as well. So we'll see you. We have one more video, and we'll talk about a couple new concepts, and then that's all the videos. So we'll see you on the next video, and have a good one.